Season 2 Reloaded has come and gone for Modern Warfare Zombies, but leakers and data miners have already begun to find details about Season 3. We're all really excited for new content for Zombies, so in this video we're going over everything that is publicly known so far, so we have an idea of what to look forward to. If you're excited for more Modern Warfare Zombies content, then let me know by dropping this video a thumbs up, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any updates when it comes to new content. Jumping straight into things, let's talk about where the next Dark Aether Rift is going to be. Because you might already know thanks to @HeyI'mAlex on Twitter, who says that the next Dark Aether Rift will probably be Zarqwa Hydroelectric. Looking at the last two Dark Aether Rifts, which are all POIs from our Mazra, this makes a lot of sense, and just like the last two, will be given that Dark Aether aesthetic with its own dedicated act story mission, an Easter egg quest to open that Dark Aether Rift, and new schematics. As far as the new story mission goes, this is going to be focused heavily on Aether, as we got a little tease of her background during the Season 2 Reloaded cutscene, but for Season 3, it sounds like it's all going to be about her, as thanks to @COD Warfare Forum on Twitter, we already know the 4 Rift items we're going to need to unlock this new Rift, and these will be a toy giraffe, a crayon, a journal, and a laptop. There isn't a ton of details known specifically about what the act mission involves. Aether might be physically present as an AI like we saw with Ravenov, and there will be some sort of encounter with an enemy called the Champion. Now, we don't know if this is going to be a new Dark Aether worm, or the idea from Season 2 could be reused with a new EMP enemy, but this could be tied to an elite that we've not seen in this EMP variant, like a Disciple. I would like to be entirely surprised and it be a new enemy, but we already know from Treyarch that there are no new enemy types planned, so they're more likely to cleverly redesign some of the enemies in the game already to create a new boss. Once we defeat the new boss and finish the mission, we'll be given gold version of the toy giraffe, but we'll then need to acquire the crayon, the journal, and the laptop, and then upgrade each of those items to then put in the Rift Gate to fully gain access to the new Dark Aether Rift and both the Sigil and Elder Sigil version. Now, what makes this quest so different to the other Dark Aether quests we've had up to now is that apparently these Rift items are also going to give you some sort of additional perma perk that is tied to each of the Rift objects. Posted on Twitter in February by @COD3 Intel, these include the ability to give the player extra zombie damage, another to give the player extra speed, and another to give the player special vision. Now, each of these unique abilities seem to be tied to the Rift item, so I'm not sure if these are permanent abilities you get once you complete this Easter egg, if you only get those abilities whilst you have the items on you, or if those abilities are going to be necessary for the new Dark Aether Rift itself, potentially hinting at a massive creep up in difficulty. Either way, this is the first time we've seen perma perks in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, so I am super intrigued on what this could all mean. We also know what contracts are going to be within the new Dark Aether Rift, and with the first and second one, there's only been 3 contracts, but according to the code, there is going to be 4. These being an Outlast, a Big Bounty, an Escort, and a Weapon Stash, which is a new contract we've not yet seen in a Dark Aether Rift. Things get even more interesting when we talk about the new classified schematics, as without context, these are easily the most confusing sounding schematics that we've gotten yet. Within the classified schematics tab, we're going to be getting 3 new items that will change the physical appearance of your operator, which will each give you some sort of benefit. And the weirdest part is that all of these schematics are pieces from the outfits of future warlords that we've not yet seen in the game. Going into specifics, the coding mentions that there's going to be a schematic classified warlord beret, classified warlord chemist mask, a warlord rainmaker vest, and a warlord maestro mod. Now, it's assumed that the first warlord mentioned was warlord_AFO, which could be referencing Legacy, as we know that's a warlord that wears a beret, but the new schematics apparently involve unlocking the warlord's beret to wear, as well as the mask from a future warlord called the chemist, the vest from a future warlord called the rainmaker, and a mod from a future warlord called Maestro. Now, we've known since the launch of the game that within the game's coding, there has been the existence of a lot of warlords that we're only just seeing being added slowly into the game with each season. But rather than the new chemist warlord, the rainmaker, and the Maestro being added, sounds like we're going to be getting pieces of equipment that belong to each of these warlords instead. Perhaps these schematics are going to be what gives those unique abilities that we mentioned before, but as permanent abilities to use. And that does make a lot of sense. If we look at the Mags of Holding, it's such a powerful schematic, but it can only be used for the duration of the match. If we were getting unique special abilities with these Rift items, there's no way that they would only exist just for the duration of you holding those Rift items, and there not be a more permanent way to unlock them, and this might be it. There's also mention of the code of these all being consumable items as well, meaning that you'll be able to get these in the normal Sigil version of the Dark Aether, but then to unlock the classified schematic to craft them in future, you'll have to get them via the Elder Sigil Dark Aether. Looking at our recent Modern Warfare Zombies drop, we had to wait all the way until Season 2 Reloaded to get it, and according to this code, it looks like going forward, every Zombies update will be on a Reloaded update rather than at a season launch, as all the coding mentions this being Season 3.5. There is a chance that this could all change, but that's how it's looking at the moment. And for the longest time, we knew that an exfil streak system existed within the files, and we finally got it with Reloaded, but one thing we haven't got yet is a wallet system. That has also been in the files for a while, and this would allow you to exfil with all the points you gained within the game, so you can bring points into a future game. Whilst there isn't anything found by data miners or leakers to suggest it's coming in Season 3 Reloaded, it's safe to assume that this could be a feature we will see. But one feature that isn't safe to assume is the very controversial PvP mode that has been within the game files for quite a while now. Back in February, according to Alan the Third 90 on Twitter, a lot more code for this mode was added to the game files, but we are still very in the dark with regards to if this is actually going to come to the game and if it's going to be just a limited time mode separate to the main mode or a limited time event that happens within the main mode. But according to the code, there is a lot of cache containers which have been updated to reflect new loot, such as a mercenary container with both standard orange loot and legendary orange loot. The same for both zombie standard containers and zombie legendary containers, and a bunch of other references which are all referenced with the label PVPVE at the end. And according to @OX on Twitter, the PVPVE mode for zombies will have a new form of intel which will be broken down into basic, advanced, major, and warlord, and follows it up to say that this is going to be a public event rather than it being standard mode or something that's just going to take over the full mode entirely. But we'll have to see exactly what they have up their sleeves in regards to what this will end up being like. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below on what you think about a PvPVE mode inside of MWZ. Would you want there to be any PvP aspect, even if it was just a public event or a limited time mode? Do you think PvP is necessary in the game or not? Let me know, because we have seen in the last few months, especially like a month or two after the game came out, that there were some very unique instances over on Reddit where some players actually had PvP enabled. So it definitely does exist, and perhaps a switch was turned on by accident for this player for literally a few minutes, and that's how they experienced this, and we haven't seen anything like this since. But either way, this could also end up where this is never added into Modern Warfare Zombies, and I'm sure a lot of people will be happy, but some might be interested in the idea of it. But I want you to let me know what you think those new schematic items for each of the warlords are gonna be down below. There is a chance that at least one of these items could have an effect that we saw previously with DMZ, as a lot of the things that we are seeing being added to zombies are features that we last saw in DMZ, such as the exfil system and soon to be the wallet whenever that comes in.